Okay, this is boring so far. I've just spent 6 minutes saying nothing. Say, get my act together. Right, I can't think what I'm saying. What's up, peeps, and welcome back to part 3 of Rich in Life. Hope you're all doing well. Where did we leave off on the last video? I think the last thing I said was about how I had a baby. Interesting chapter of my life, so I want to talk about pregnancy and birth stories. Where do I even begin with this one? Something takes over your body, obviously your baby does. So I had 2 kids, 3.5 years apart. I had my daughter first. I was 26 when I had her, 30 when I had my son. It didn't start off too good, this pregnancy. It was, I had a rough time because I had a lot of spotting at the beginning. The most embarrassing stuff happened to me during the beginning of this pregnancy. Morning sickness every day. I was never sick, as in actually vomiting. I was just feeling sick. My biggest problem was, oh my God, needing a number 2 a lot. We were on the plane and it was like, no way, I'm not going in the plane toilets. That experience was enough to like make me never want to go to the toilet again in a plane. If you've ever been in a plane toilet, you've got more than one thing to contend with. Oh, I hate that my steering wheel's in the way. The whole journey was basically me in the toilet. We took out some of those pedal boats. We went in, pedaling away. These were like sudden toilet urges. Started pedaling back but like mad. My husband was just like, sit on the end of the boat and do it. Oh! And we went on like a cruise of the island, so we was on a boat all day, and every stop I needed to visit the toilet, and I just became so hypersensitive to smells and food and everything else. But it didn't stop me eating for free. I putting on 4 stone, so I was 12.5 stone. I mean 8 stone to 12.5 stone, and it wasn't just the pregnancy belly, it was all around. You know, my hips were massive, my thighs were massive. In the end, it got to the point where nothing was fitting me. I didn't have that kind of glow up pregnancy. I got really hairy. They say you get hairy when you have daughters, and I can vouch for that. My second pregnancy was nothing like it with my son. I put on, I think, a stone. Obviously, I was quite weary because the first pregnancy like made me fat because I was eating so much. I'll go into that in a sec. With the second pregnancy, I was a lot more careful, and my lifestyle kind of changed by then. It was, you know, I started going to the gym and stuff to lose the weight from my daughter. They say it's baby weight. In this case, it really wasn't. It was just me. The spotting stopped, luckily, but during my, what is it, the test they do, I can't even remember the name for it now, to make sure that your baby hasn't got any signs of Down syndrome. So I had the scan, I think it was the 5-month scan that revealed that, well, they said that there was water on my baby's neck, and the Down syndrome test came back positive. And they were like, look, you got options here. And I was like, I'm gonna have this baby whatever happens. If she does end up with Down syndrome kids are awesome. They are so smart, intelligent, lovely people. I've had a lot of interactions with Down syndrome kids and Down syndrome adults, and I love them to bits. So I was like, look, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm having this baby whatever happens. She didn't end up having Down syndrome. So I was working till the 9th month of my pregnancy. In the mornings, I was having breakfast at home. I don't even eat breakfast. Like, there was a McDonald's around the corner from my workplace. We had every food joint you can imagine. The desk drawer was full of snacks. So I was just eating throughout the day. I'd go into McDonald's at lunchtime and I'd buy like a £1/4 pounder meal or a Big Mac meal, 1 or 2 cheeseburgers next to it, extra fries, apple pie. My body felt like if I didn't eat, I was gonna faint. I had a lot of dizziness, a lot of nausea, which didn't stop me eating. But yeah, obviously I liked fruit and stuff as well. So if I was to sit down and eat an orange, it wouldn't stop at 1 orange. It would be 3 or 4 oranges. On my second pregnancy, my cravings were more like vinegar and lemon. Your body just gets possessed when you're pregnant and you can't stop it. It's like, if I've got a craving, I'm having it. Cravings that I got during my pregnancies are actually the things that my kids like eating now. Moving on, so I was getting heavier by the day with my daughter. There isn't going to be much to say about my son's my pregnancy with my son, because that was quite normal and healthy. You know, it went well from the start. I didn't have a lot of nausea. I was never sick. I didn't have the problem with the number 2s either. Eventually I stopped feeling sick. I think about month 5 I was feeling great. I had so much energy. I was bouncing around. People were like, wow, you look like you're having 3 babies. My belly was massive. My baby ended up being £9.5, the first one, and my second one was £8.4. And yeah, I mean, when I had my baby in the hospital the second time, I had a cesarean. I had a natural birth with my first one. Worst mistake of my life. I should definitely have had a cesarean. She was just massive. I had a dry birth in the end. I'll get into the birth in a minute. But yeah, I was eating for free here. And the midwives and stuff were saying, are you sure you're not having twins or even triplets? Like, your belly's massive. By month 8, my belly was rock hard, and I was like, this baby needs to come out now. I was getting sick of it. I was just like, right, I can't even move anymore. You know, I was driving and the steering wheel was basically touching my belly, and yeah, I looked big. And it got to a point where people were moving out of the way for me. They were helping me with stuff, carrying things for me. Oh, what a crazy time. I was 2 weeks overdue. That was the worst thing that could have happened, I think. This baby was not coming. So on the day that I was booked in for an induced labour, I was still eating. I mean, to the last minute of giving birth, I was eating crisps. I've got pregnancy photos just before the birth in hospital, and in all of them I'm eating What's-its, soup. I don't think that the members of staff in that hospital will ever forget me. I spent a lot of time on the birthing ball trying to like get this baby to move now, and the problem was that her back was facing my back, and they were like, we're gonna have to turn this baby because she's big and she's getting distressed. So they broke my waters, but there was no sign of this baby still. I really wish they didn't do that, because I ended up having a dry birth. I had a 3rd degree tear. By the end of it, there was 30 people in that room. Everyone looked worried. So obviously I was like, what's going on here? And it's too late to have a cesarean because she's too low down. They managed to turn her around. That was one of the worst experiences of my life. Oh my God, this is so gruesome. I had a lot of back pain. I was just, at this point, I just said, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the energy. And they were like, listen, you need to start pushing. Because I've been pushing for about 3 hours and it just wasn't happening. Anyway, so in the end, they came in with forceps and vent house. The woman who was delivering the baby, she had her feet on the end of the bed, pulling with all her might. I was pushing at the same time. And they were like, look, we need to give you an epidural. I was like, no, I don't want an epidural, because I don't want to not be able to feel if I'm pushing or not, because apparently you lose the feeling in your legs and stuff, and I wasn't about that life. I lost any of the control during that birth. I mean, one of the people who had their baby next to me, her baby was about £10, so close to mine. They ended up damaging the baby's head when they were pulling the baby out, because she couldn't push properly, like she couldn't feel it. So I didn't want that happening to me. But anyway, yeah, she finally got delivered. She wasn't breathing when she came out. She was purple. In the end, they gave her a few slaps and she started crying. And that was it. My baby girl was born, and that was that. I had a lot of stitches. I had about 160 stitches. That changed me. That birth that day changed me. I mean, it made me feel grateful for being alive, because if we didn't have all the people in the room that helped deliver the baby, I mean, if I was having a home birth, which is what I was planning to do in the first place, I would have been in trouble. I wanted to have a water baby, and they were like, you can't do it. We're going to have to give you a lot of painkillers. I had so much gas and air. My husband was like, oh, my stomach hurts, and he was sitting there finishing the gas and air. We had about 8 or 9 tanks in the end. The second one, they said to me, look, you're gonna have to have a cesarean. You can't risk doing this. This is a big baby as well. For some reason, I have big babies, just my luck. First pregnancy, I had my sister and my husband with me. I missed out quite a lot about the gruesome stuff, but anyway, when the head was coming out, he looked like he was about to faint. They said to him, do you want to leave the room for a minute? And he was like, yeah, I need to. So yeah, the second pregnancy, it went lovely. I mean, I always dreaded having a cesarean. I never ever wanted to experience that, because they were like, you might not be able to lift your baby for 6 weeks and all that, and I didn't really have that kind of support, so I needed to be able to do everything myself. And being an independent person, as a mum, I felt that I needed to do that a lot more. The only difficulty with the second baby was I was on my own at that time. Me and my husband got divorced once I had my son. So yeah, I was basically doing everything on my own. So I had a 3-year-old at home running around. Luckily, he was a very quiet baby. Unlike my daughter, she never slept. She didn't sleep even one night until she was 2 years old. Today, she still has insomnia. My son made life a lot easier for me. That pregnancy just flew by. I was at home, I wasn't working, so it was a lot easier. And to rest more and eat more responsibly. For the first 5 months of my pregnancy, I was in the gym. So anyway, I had the cesarean. My dad was there. He helped me through that. He was a godsend. And yeah, my son was born. He ended up having severe jaundice. We ended up in the hospital for about 2 weeks, just in a different ward. So yeah, he was an incubator baby, bless him. Birth went very well because, like I said, it was a cesarean. I mean, all they did was cut me up, take him out, and I recovered within a few weeks and everything was fine. And I was able to pick him up and hold him. Breastfed with both of them, only for a month though, because I wasn't eating very well. So my milk stopped on both of them. I found it quite difficult to keep myself fed, basically. Anyway, it gradually got easier. My son used to sleep really well. I used to have to wake him up, feed him and stuff. Eventually, he didn't even need night feeds. I don't remember how long it took for that to happen, but within about 2-3 months, he was settled and sleeping from 9 and waking up at 9, and it was brilliant. Pregnancy, I think, taught me a lot, because the amount of weight I put on the first one, you know, I've managed to do it better the second time. You know, these experiences strengthen you. So again, it was a chapter of my life that added more experience to my life and to who I was as a person. And this is another thing you can put on your CV. Bringing up kids, it's so much responsibility, and over the years of doing it, it's even, you know, you learn a lot more from it, because you learn how to budget, because you have to budget. Spent a lot of years enjoying bringing up my kids, trying to be around for them as much as I can. I never got a babysitter unless I was having an operation or whatever, and that wasn't even a babysitter, it was just my family looking after the kids while I was in hospital. And I'm very happy that I spent a lot of time just being a mum, because I think being a mum taught me a lot over the years, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm still a hands-on mum, even though my kids are 14 and 18 now. It was totally different to anything I did before. Obviously, I was always used to working, and I kind of didn't like being at home, but because it was for my kids, I did. And I thought, while I'm doing all of this, I need to pick up some skills. So to do tiling and stuff, and more painting and everything. I mean, I used to do painting as a kid. Whenever we bought a new factory, we'd paint it. On wallpapering, I started doing that. And we bought our first house in year 2000, we bought our first house. So during that time, I was renovating it and stuff. Another house after that, that was without my husband. Renovated a 5-bedroom, 3-story townhouse. That's how I picked up my skills on DIY, and they came in handy later on. Basically, even if you have had a kid and you're at home, or you're still going through your pregnancy, it's a good idea to pick up some more skills that are going to help you in life later on. And also during the time of my pregnancy and you know, having the kids at home, I was constantly thinking about what am I going to do after I have the kids, because I'm only going to be able to work part-time being a single parent. Where I am today basically helps me out a lot, even though I'm not too hands-on with the kids anymore because they've grown up basically. I am still dropping my son off to school and dropping my daughter off wherever she needs to go and stuff like that, because I want to. I want to be able to enjoy the next few years of my kids still being kids and them enjoying their childhood and what's left of it. I mean, my daughter's 18, but I still mollycoddle her a little bit. Oh, they love it. I mean, I think it shows them how much I love them, and, you know, keeping them safe is my priority. Bringing them up to be independent, you know, self-sufficient people, picking up skills where they can, getting as much as they can on their CVs as they can, as I've talked about throughout these 3 videos, is actually so important. And like I said, just because you've had kids and maybe your first career or the only career you had or whatever, you know, your job is over, it doesn't mean you can't use that time to gain new skills and use them for during the time that you have to be a hands-on parent. And working part-time is going to be something that you need to do in the future, possibly. So the time that you're at home with the kids, the time that you're at home pregnant, or you've just had the baby on maternity leave and all that, is a very valuable time to squeeze in as much as you can. And that's basically what I did, and I was very glad that I did it. During that time as well, I was doing a lot of selling on eBay. It was basically stuff like, you know, the toys that they grew out of, the clothes that they grew out of, eBay and Facebook. I was making a lot of money through there. And the other thing I always have done, I still do now, if I'm walking or I'm driving past somewhere and I see that someone's thrown something out that they clearly don't want, I'll stick it in the boot, go home, clean it up, fix it. If it needs upholstering or whatever, I'll sort it out and put it on eBay. And a lot of the times I have sold stuff the day I've put it up. I found a basin, a bathroom basin, as I was walking home after taking the kids to school. And I was like, oh, I'm going to come back with my trolley and pick that up. It had the taps on it and everything. Gave it a nice clean, put it up on eBay and Facebook. Within an hour, it was sold. The other thing was, I started making hampers. So I bought some nice baskets and boxes and stuff like that. And just in my area, you know, the word ended up spreading. And before I know it, I sold about, I don't know, maybe 100 hampers just to the locals. It was boot sales. You know, I did regular boot sales with all the stuff I had at home. The time when your kids are young and you're buying buggies and prams and constantly buying something for the kids, like walkers and stuff like that, I made a lot of money. I went to a boot sale and I think I made like £1,000 that day, 1,500 that day. I was really chuffed with that. I did whatever I needed to do to make ends meet. You are at home with kids, it takes a lot out of you, but you get a lot out of it as well. It might not be a paid job, but again, it's a job that you're doing and you're having to do well. Otherwise, you know, you can't be a good parent if you're doing it in a half-hearted way. And you find the strength from somewhere, you really do. I mean, I would have had a few more kids, but because I ended up as a single parent, I didn't think it would be fair on my kids or fair on me. So I stopped at 2. I mean, who knows, I'm 45. I can't really see myself doing it again, but I feel like if I did it now, the older you get, the more patience you have, I think. And I think that if I did it now, I wouldn't have all of the panic of, oh my God, the baby's crying, get the milk quickly, let's sterilize everything. I don't think I'd be that type of parent anymore. I think so much, I mean, for the second baby, I was so relaxed. Like, I could probably have 10 kids now and be fine with it, you know? You can still be a parent and still achieve stuff in life, and just put your mind to what you want to do. That was kind of a break for me. Like, what do I want to do with the rest of my life, you know? I didn't go back to office work, especially because office work part-time doesn't really work, especially in the solicitors field. So that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully that wasn't boring. Don't give up, don't give in. All the experiences you have, paid or unpaid, even if it's a struggle, it's all worth it in the end, and it makes you rich in life. I'll see you on the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.